I became as miserable as a poor shilling can be, whom no one will accept. But the woman took me home again, and looked at me with a friendly, hearty face, and said, "No, I will not deceive anyone with thee. I will bore a hole through thee, that everyone may see thou art a false thing. And yet it just occurs to me, perhaps this is a lucky shilling, and the thought comes so strongly upon me that I am sure it must be true. I will make a hole through the shilling, and pass a string through the hole, and hang the coin round the neck of my neighbour's little boy for a lucky shilling." So she bored a hole through me. It is certainly not agreeable to have a hole bored through one, but many things can be borne when the intention is good. A thread was passed through the hole, and I became a kind of medal, and was hung around the neck of the little child, and the child smiled at me and kissed me, and I slept all night on its warm, innocent neck. When the morning came, the child's mother took me up in her fingers and looked at me, and she had her own thoughts about me. I could feel that very well. She brought out a pair of scissors and cut the string through. "A lucky shilling," she said. "Well, we'll soon see that." And she laid me in vinegar, so that I turned quite green. Then she plugged up the hole and carried me in the evening twilight to the lottery collector to buy a lottery ticket that should bring her luck. How miserably wretched I felt! There was a stinging feeling in me, as if I should crumble to bits. I knew that I should be called false and thrown down, and before a crowd of shillings and other coins too, who lay there with an image and superscription of which they might be proud. But I escaped that disgrace, for there were many people in the collector's room. He had a great deal to do, and I went rattling down into the box among the other coins. Whether my ticket won anything or not, I don't know, but this I do know, that the very next morning I was recognised as a bad shilling, and was sent out to deceive and deceive again. That is a very trying thing to bear when one knows one has a good character, and of that I am conscious. For a year and a day I thus wandered from house to house, and from hand to hand, always abused, always unwelcome. No one trusted me, and I lost confidence in the world and in myself. It was a heavy time. At last, one day, a traveller, a strange gentleman, arrived, and I was passed to him, and he was polite enough to accept me for my current coin, but he wanted to pass me on, and again I heard the horrible cry, "No use! False!" "I received it as a good coin," said the man, and he looked closely at me. Suddenly he smiled all over his face, and I had never seen that expression before on any face that looked at me. "Why, whatever is that?" he said. "That's one of our own country coins, a good honest shilling from my home." "And they bored a hole through him?" and they call him false? Now this is a curious circumstance. I must keep him and take him home with me. A glow of joy thrilled through me when I heard myself called a good, honest shilling. And now I was to be taken home, where each and every one would know me and be sure that I was real silver and properly coined. I could have thrown out sparks for very gladness, but after all, it's not in my nature to throw out sparks, for that's the property of steel, not of silver. I was wrapped up in clean white paper, so that I should not be confounded with the other coins, and spent. And on festive occasions, when fellow countrymen met together, I was shown about, and they spoke very well of me. They said I was interesting. And it is wonderful how interesting one can be without saying a single word. And at last I got home again. All my troubles were ended, joy came back to me, for I was of good silver, and had the right stamp, and I had no more disagreeables to endure. Though a hole had been bored through me, as through a false coin, but that does not matter. If one is not really false, one must wait for the end, and one will be righted at last. That's my belief, said the shilling.